was like, fuck you, Greg.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson here. We're back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Hopefully you didn't catch Greg talking as we went live on the air because he's in rare form today. Greg has had a slow day. Unlike me, I've had an extremely busy day. And so this is going to be an interesting episode. This is Social Media Wisdom for Agents. We are going through a number of different nuggets of essential social media wisdom that was recently posted. It was an article that came across Greg, and we're excited to share it and share some of the wisdom with you guys. And with that, let me officially introduce, as if you didn't hear him already, the junior grandmaster himself, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what's up today?
Matt. You got to tell me when you hit record, my friend, because I'm just chattering away my own beautiful, wonderful self with nothing but cheery, wonderful things coming out of my mouth. And then I sometimes have to share that with the general public, and they don't like that all the time. So let's segues, shaking your head vehemently, going,
Yeah, let's try to, hopefully it will be cut out before the audio version hits iTunes, but let's try to avoid starting the show off on an F-bomb. It's one thing to drop it naturally and organically in the
I was
flow.
just talking with you.
I know.
I have the right to talk about whatever I want. But
that's right. That's the last time I catch Greg unawares by going live.
Yeah, that's a good thing for everyone's ears.
All right, so while we wait for people to join us live,
I got to talk about my hater.
Nope, not yet.
Yes.
Nope.
Perfect segue into hate.
Hey. Now, we'll get to you in a second. While we wait for people to join us live and watch the behind-the-scenes taping on Google Hangouts, which thank you very much for doing that, by the way. You can actually communicate directly with us if you're connected with us on Facebook. If you're not already, shoot us a friend request, and you can actually chat with us during the show, because inevitably one of us will be ignoring the other while they are talking and chatting with someone on Facebook. So that way you can get your questions and comments answered and addressed on the air.
What were you saying?
But, yeah, while we wait for people to do that and join us live, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you get our future videos as well as other real estate coaching content. And then if you're listening to the audio version on iTunes or Stitcher, make sure that you are subscribed there as well. And if you're not already, that's a great way to have us always in your earbuds, just nestled right here between your ears, so you can have us in the gym and in the car on the way to and from the office, on the way to and from appointments. It's a great way to get your real estate education in where you can. As always, we are bringing you actionable insight, ideas, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. That's what we're all about. It's the real estate training for the rest of us, right?
It is for the rest of us. Shit, man. Half of the stuff that I research, I'm going, ooh, that's a good point. Oh, I think I'm going to use that. Ooh, I just came up with a good idea, and I put it into my business. I mean, I have my Hobbit pads curled up next to me here.
That's
and
right.
I actually left them at home, Matt, the other day, and it was the only flipping day I needed to grab something out of it. So I vowed that I will never leave them again alone, wanting their attention from me. So
that's right.
It was horrible. It was a sad day.
I'll bet. Yeah, don't. And for anybody that does not know, when we say Hobbit pads, that came from. It was one of the very. I don't know. It was this summer, last summer, or whatever you want to call it. You showed like an actual shot. You panned the camera around your desk, and there were no fewer than 7 legal pads surrounding you at your desk, and I made the comment about you being like a hobbit nesting among your stacks of legal pads, and hence the term Hobbit pads are born, and that's what they've been born. That's what they've been called to this day, and that's what they will forever be known as.
And kind of like your wife and your 3 obese children.
That's right. Somebody asked that on the Facebook group or Facebook page or whatever. Like, what is Greg's obsession with obese children? I don't know why my fake kids are fat. I'm currently thanking Greg that he didn't make my wife also obese, morbidly obese. I don't know why the kids are morbidly obese. I don't feed them Taco Bell in this fake world that Greg lives in. Maybe who knows? But apparently, I have a wife, Julie, and we have 3 morbidly obese 12-year-old kids, which I assume would be triplets, because if they were all 12 pounds and they were all a year apart, that'd be even stranger.
No, that just means you and your wife are getting busy quite a bit, and you guys never decided to take precautions. But, everyone to their own gig, their own gamut on that one. God bless everyone. We need more humans, apparently.
All right, so now I will let you... I will allow you to share. What's the deal with the hater now? Didn't we already get to this a little bit on Friday?
What an honor. I can now talk. This is good. Thank you for allowing me in to the co-hosted podcast. Okay, so I got a hate mail from, who was it? I'm not going to say the name. It was an individual that was a part of our brokerage, and this individual decidedly, announced to me that they were not a fan of my vulgarity and that I was not professional, and that she was going to report me to the boss, the owner of our company. I'm like, first off, this is my podcast, not on Real Estate Time. Besides, it doesn't matter. I'm an independent contractor, so if you don't like it, then take your happy ass over and watch something else. That's and right. So I would kind of.
And it's not aimed or marketed to the general public either.
It is not. And so I replied back to her, and I let her know to please watch something else, and that I will not be changing my attitude, my language, or anything else the fuck about me, because this is who I am. And this is why people love us, Matt, because we are honest, true, we're real, we're non-filtered and uncensored. You get what you get here. There is no fluffing, there is no shining or glossing, there is no editing, except for when I drop F-bombs when we first start the show. And that's us. And that's why you guys love us, and that's why we love this platform. So that's my hater. And I'm very happy to have my first hater. I just don't want to hold on.
For that reason. I don't mind having hater for that reason. And for anybody that doesn't know, I'm a pastor's son, so believe me, if my family would watch this, or if they do watch this, I'm sorry for the occasional vulgarity, but this is Real Estate Uncensored. We are talking about what goes on behind the scenes of actually being in real estate, and sometimes it gets real, and sometimes we drop the occasional profanity, but we try to not be over the top with it. So we're just trying to be who we are.
You try not to be. Okay. All right. So I have a couple of shout outs. Would you like the honor of going first today, Matt?
Or do you talking about shout outs?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Okay. So we just want to thank again Neely for her work on the Facebook the fan page. So we decided to open up the isn't it Neely? Yeah.
Yeah, I said Neely. I was giving her a shout out.
No, I thought you were questioning me like I had the wrong person. I had a tiny heart attack for a second. I'm like, did I get her name wrong or something? No. So Neely, we just want to thank you publicly once again for helping us out with the Real Estate Uncensored fan page. We decided to make that more of a public thing rather than a closed group for the people that took the McDaniel Challenge, since obviously we can only do that one person at a time once you actually talk to Greg, and Greg is booked out for the next probably at least 3 weeks. No, so we decided to open up the.
I'm booked out to the end of the month. I'm already 30 days out past. Today.
30 days out. Okay, awesome. So make sure you guys get on that and get a hold of Greg before it's summer, before you can talk to him. So, but anyway, she's helping us out, and she's kind of building out and helping facilitate the discussion there on the fan page. So we want to make sure that there's a place for you guys to interact with both of us in between the show, and obviously submit questions directly to us that you'd like to have answered on the air. Greg actually answered one with a video. So you guys were asking like, what's a day in the life of Greg's real estate business like? He actually shot a short video on that and posted that already. So rather than talking about it on the show, sometimes we'll add some content there to that page as well. So make sure that you check that out.
Well, actually, Matt, what I'm going to be doing on that page is I'm going to be probably every day, if not every other day, depending on what I have going on. But I plan on putting up additional, like you said, resources and content, maybe a script here and there, maybe an objection that I handled or came up against.
Stuff that happens kind of in between the show.
In between the show, so that there can be that filler in there. If you have a question about something, always go to the lead gen and objections web page, or come to ours or any of them. But we will be giving more content. So come and join the group, people.
That's right. Get involved. Get in a Facebook group, whether it's ours or another one. There's plenty of them out there that are great for agents. I think Chris mentioned one the other day when he was on it, which is like the Scripts and Dialogues group. Mm-hmm. So must be another one out there that's similar to the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. That one's probably been around possibly even for longer than Aaron Wittenstein's group. So make sure you get on that. And then as far as shout outs, just quickly to Viral Marketing, thank you for writing a check to make podcasts and hangouts like these happen. So if you're not familiar, they help run Greg's real estate video blog. They can do the same for you to help you generate repeat and referral business from your database. So check them out at getviral.com. And then Equity with 2 Qs, online buyer lead generation. So if you're looking for a way to generate a smaller number of higher quality leads that you can actually follow up with consistently to close real deals and make actual clients and make actual commissions, get in touch with Greg and he can let you know where it's available. If it's not already in your area, if you can rustle up 4 other people, we can bring that anywhere, basically in the United States. So
and Canada.
Yeah, in Canada. There you go. So online buyer lead generation, Equity. Make sure to keep those 2 things in mind. They are very helpful in helping us with the show. So
yeah,
Gregory,
Matthew,
Gregory Thomas.
I don't even know your middle name, damn it.
Yeah, that's right. You're not missing much. Gregory Thomas McDaniel, what do you have in the way of shout-outs?
I got a lot of good shout outs, man. Our viewers are actually just they're just bitching. I have so much fun. They're getting to be more and more open to the idea that I actually will pick up the freaking phone and call you back. Diane hit me up a second ago. She's from Colorado. She wants to learn more about the equity program. So Diane, I will get back with you. Thanks for reaching out on that. So Matt, here's something that we should probably talk about, and something that I've been hearing more and more about. Role playing. A lot of folks are looking for role playing partners. So you know what, if you guys want us to put together something like a weekly call or some maybe a weekly hangout of some sort where we can get on and do some role playing, and that would be helpful, let us know. But Seth, like I told you, man, Matt and I have been hearing this a lot, so I wanted to bring this on air and see what other people are getting or what they're thinking. James, I talked with James today. He really, really liked our last show. He got really inspired from it. I mean, Chris was a great interview. We're going to have more of them like him on there, so we will continually be bringing the goodness. And I have him set for March 9th to do the McDaniel Challenge. So any of you guys who are not listening, or are listening, you don't know what the McDaniel Challenge is, stay tuned. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I'm talking with Carrie V today out of LA. Kind of look forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Talked to Josh. He called me today. We found time to talk for a little bit. He was interested in doors. I got him hooked up with my door knocking videos. Just good dude. Really, I can hear the hunger in his voice, and I think I see some really good things with him, because when you have someone that eager and aggressive and hungry,
if you're asking about door knocking, if you want to go door knocking, you are hungry, which is probably means you're going to be successful.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. If you stick with it, you're guaranteed to be successful. If you're not a complete Neanderthal. Stevie from Florida, we were playing phone tag over the weekend. Let's get together and chat. Gavin also reached out to me, Matt, today. He actually reached out right after Josh called me. We talked about the coupons. So you guys, if you guys hear anything about the coupons or you know what I've done with the Forbes Mill Steakhouse, remember Corfac does the printing for that for us. Just ask for what the McDaniel Callahan team is doing for their coupons, and they have proofs there and templates, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, nice. I didn't know that. That's
and
cool.
Then last but not least, Marco, homeboy, let's get you back on the books, man. I know we had to skip last week, but let's get you back on the books. Let's make this happen. I want to make sure that you don't that you're not getting jacked out of your time because of the clients showing up late. So
yeah,
that's that. And if Gina's listening, she thinks I have a very goofy smile, Matt. And I don't know how to take that, to tell you the truth. I think I have a pretty decent freaking smile. She's like, stop having that goofy smile. I'm like, you stop having a goofy smile. Oh, your problem is. Sheena, if you're listening to this, Matt agrees that I do not have a goofy smile. My smile is probably my best attribute. Thank you very much. See? Ding.
Mm-hmm. All right. What do you say we before this gets any more narcissistic, why don't we take a question from the Legion and Scripts group and deliver some contents and answer some questions? What do you say?
Yeah, man. Let's make it rain.
All right, cool. So this is a really good one. So by the way, anyone that's not already a member, so it's facebook.com/groups/gotobjections. It's not our group. That's Aaron Wittenstein's Facebook group. It's a great community of agents. And this one caught my eye earlier today. So it's from Lisa Harold, and she asked, what is your response and why to a seller who wants accompanied showings on a $1.5 million home? So obviously she does not want to do that, so she's looking for an objection handler. But I'm just curious in an overall sense, Greg, if someone asked you, hey, I'm going to list my $1.5 million home with you, I want you to be there for every showing, what do you say?
You get your bitch ass out to the house and you show the damn properties, what you do. No, in all honesty, we've had it happen.
Even when there's buyers agents there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've had it happen to us in regards to our listing side. Like, hey, we want you, one of the team, to be here every single time there's a showing, and that is such a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a colossal waste of time, given the fact that the other agent's a licensed, fingerprinted, background checked human being that the FBI and the local police have records on. I doubt anything's going to happen. But Lord forbid, I mean, so what, they take a trinket when I'm there? Not that would ever happen, but you know what I mean? It could be just a safe thing. But seriously, man up or woman up. This is a job. This is not relaxing time, bonbons on the couch, watching reruns of your favorite show, put with your stank ass feet up on your dining room table or kitchen table or whatever fucking table it is, coffee table. But you know what? Get out there and do the job. Because guess what? When you start doing that, the people are going to say that listing. God, I cannot talk. That seller is going to tell their friend, "Hey, look, this team went above and beyond. You know, they did what I asked of them."
Well,
and
you hope so. Yeah, you certainly hope so. Although it depends on whether they are also exceedingly demanding in other areas, and that might just be the type of client that will give you a marginal or bad review regardless, because you'll never quite go as far as they want you to go. It really depends on that seller. Now, if I was in the Midwest and it's $1.5 million listing, that's 4 or 5 times the average. Absolutely, I'd be at every single showing. If you're in Greg's area, I'm surprised. I actually thought, Greg, you might just say, well, you know, we will look at having someone there, but we cannot guarantee it. We have a team of 7, so it probably will not be me, but it may be X or Y or Z that shows up to accompany that buyer and their agent into the house.
No, that's exactly what we say. I mean, if I am not going to be at every showing. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it. That's why we have a team built, so that if I can't do it, one of the other team members will be. Sorry, the steel trap Eileen is probably usually the one stuck going to those.
I was gonna say.
She's just like.
So yeah, I was gonna say. Let's preface this by how there was what Greg recommended that you do, and then there's what Greg does, which is to use his team, but that's fine. If you have a team.
You play different positions. It's meant for that. You know, that's the way it's done.
Great. If you have a buyer's agent on your team and you can pay them to handle the showings, by all means, have them accompany the buyer's agent and they're the buyer on every single showing, definitely.
So basically, you're making them your bitch.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, to put it to certain words.
Potato. Tomato.
Potato. Yeah, it's a potato.
Okay.
A good potato. Yeah, no. So,
so we basically agree on that. So if you're the Rainmaker agent, find somebody else to do it, but at least try to accommodate your clients and get somebody there. But it doesn't have to be you.
No, I have another agent that is out of our Walnut Creek office. That's how I met her. Very, very nice lady. You know, does very well for herself, but she had to show up every single time I showed this house, and it was about $1.5 million actually. And I kept on asking her, I'm like, why do you keep coming out here? She's like, oh, my seller makes me come out, unlock, turn all the lights on, then stay with the other, you guys as you're here, and then I have to lock it all up and shut it all down for him, and then give him a status report. I'm like, ugh, that sounds horrible. But she did it. So that's it. There it is, guys. It's a JOB. Treat it like one.
That's right. All right. Here's another good one. So Kevin Aldridge asked, does anyone have a great email script for asking vendors like divorce attorneys or financial advisors for referrals?
Actually, this is your wheelhouse, buddy.
It is my wheelhouse, and I'm going to take it if you don't mind.
I would love for you to do that.
Well, to me, the premise of the question is wrong.
Naturally.
So, and what I mean by that is that he's asking for an email script, whereas am I freezing up for you too?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me though?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so you can see my frozen face, but you can hear me. That's good. So here's what I would say on asking for referrals. It's one of those things where it's best done over the phone or in person. It is very difficult to ask and actually obtain referrals when you're just asking for them by email. So is there a script for getting referrals? Absolutely. Is it best sent through email? Absolutely not. What you want is an excuse to get them on the phone on a regular basis, and a great way to do that is with, like we've talked about before, run a community blog, have a YouTube page, have a Facebook page for the community, somewhere that you can post content to, whether it's a blog or whether it's just a social media site, and then record videos of you interviewing or talking with people like that, financial advisors, divorce attorneys, other vendors, your title rep, your loan officer, your lender, anybody that's in the business that could potentially send you referrals. The ideal would be to get them on camera with you or do a joint blog post together if it's something that they'd just rather submit some written content. But or find a way to get them on the phone, in person, or on camera together with you, and then that's your excuse to then ask for referrals afterwards, and also to provide referrals, because there's no sense in just asking if you're never bringing any value.
Right, but you also need to, here's an astonishingly, out of the box idea. Go have a real live belly-to-belly conversation with that other human being. Buy them coffee, buy them lunch. Ask them who you can keep in mind for them to help them grow their business. What does their best client look like? If it's a divorce attorney, it's probably going to look at you and be going, someone getting a divorce, dipshit. So but who knows? Is it older, younger? Where's his demographics?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are they coming from? When you're running ads, when you're if you can adhere to oh, I'm so going blank on it right now. I'll try to find an email. I get a morning email, and we watch about 120,000 houses here in our area, and we get notified when there's divorces, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, notice of sale, and they just came out with death. So if someone kicks the bucket, we're gonna know, and not to be an ambulance chaser, but I totally am. Someone's gonna need to sell that house. I mean,
Right.
Might as well be the good team that's gonna represent the family's interest and help them through this transition in life with the smoothest possible, with a lack of, problems or, anything else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going after people who have a want, need, and a desire. So
yeah,
just get time with them, get a relationship, show them what you do on a value add basis right off the bat. Hey, Matt, do you mind if I just take you out to lunch? I'd love to pick your brain about what your best client would look like.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Remember who's everybody's favorite topic of conversation? Themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So let them elaborate on how great it is to be a divorce attorney and tear families apart from the, core roots.
God. All right, Greg.
Come on, I was going to go for that.
Divorce attorneys serve a valuable service to society.
God, yeah, they do. All right, so
we got our shout outs out of the way. So if you want to, we can, unless you have something else, we can actually dive right into the nuggets of social media wisdom.
Goodness.
The social media goodness.
Dude, I think, you know what, Matt, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to think you're right. And I think we should go right ahead and just let's plow through these things. You want to just do Q&A? You set them up, I knock them down, then you knock them down after me?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay.
Let's roll.
So this is on businessgrow.com. It is, and the title of it is 25 Nuggets of Essential Social Media Wisdom. And this caught Greg's eye because there's so much here that kind of it coincides and elaborates on some of the same things and some of the same principles that we talk about here on the show in terms of how to handle yourself and how to use social media the right way. So we're going to just start right up at the top, and we'll just give some commentary on each one, elaborate on how each one applies to real estate. So number one is don't obsess about finding your voice. It will arrive. Just write, just film, just record, just get started. So
yeah, just get out there. So what are you comfortable with, right? What's your number one where's your most comfort when you go to intake anything, right? Frank loves to tangibly touch something that he's reading. I love to listen or watch video or audio because I can digest it that way. I'm very good, retaining information through audio. And don't freak out. I mean, you will find your voice. You just have to figure out how you like to take it in, and then you can give it back out in the exact same manner, and then just start doing it consistently. That's it. It's super simple. A lot of people overthink it and freak out and say, "Oh my God, I have to write all these blog posts and everything else and da 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 da." Well, if I did that, guys, I would quit the business. You're not getting me to write a freaking blog. Not happening.
Right. Yeah.
But you say, Greg, do a video. Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, Neely is so bent out of shape at me. So she's like, you should do a video. I'm like, okay. So I just sit there and knock out the video from today. She's like, I hate you. You're so easy and natural on camera. Me over here, I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, well, maybe that's just not your medium.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell, because nobody's comfortable with everything right off the bat. So there is a little bit of a stick-to-itiveness, but ideally, if you can find something where you're comfortable right off the bat, it's definitely better. Yeah, it's like if you go back and watch me and Greg's first, and it wasn't a podcast at first.
Don't go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's like we started them off as almost like a live webinar. It was to demonstrate more of the coaching, and it was a different format. But you can definitely tell as the show has evolved over time, we've just gotten better. And me and Greg have always been comfortable with each other, but we still had to find a format and a skeleton of the show that allowed us to get the content out in a way that kind of broke things up, and it wasn't just one monotonous 60 minutes of us just talking about the same things or talking about one topic. So it took us a while to find a structure, but we would have never found it if we just tried to sit down and you and me, Greg, tried to plan it. And I love planning, and I love making notes. And I prepared for everything, but the structure that has come out, the structure that we have now did not come from me planning. It came from us doing.
Yeah, it literally happened one show. We just happened to fall into this rhythm, and at the end of the show, we're both like, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
Matt! I hope you took notes on that because that's our new format."
Yeah, and that's exactly what we did. We stumbled on it, it worked, and then we ran with it, and then we just tweaked it.
Yeah, go. So, want to do number 2, Matt?
Yep.
This is something you can work on.
Really, be more human. I feel that I'm very human, Greg. I don't know what you're talking about. In every post, in every response, in every engagement, strive for it every day. The most human company will win. Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, if that's anything that makes our show unique, it's definitely that we are exceedingly human, sometimes to a fault.
F-bomb. Hey, welcome to Real Estate Uncensored.
That's right. All right, so number 3.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you don't have more on that, do you? Be human. Do we have to say more on that?
Apparently, in your opinion, we don't. That's not very human of you.
Don't be stiff and boring. If you're a real estate agent, for God's sake, don't talk about real estate all the time. That's my contribution on it.
And they do it all the time. They get it wrong. You know what? You got to talk about something else. Talk about your hobbies, your interests, your family, your past. What do you do when you're not attempting to sell a home here and there? Well, everything else that you're doing is probably something that someone else is very interested in hearing about. So start making videos if it's comfortable, writing about it, blogging about it, interviewing about it, going out and networking, being a part of groups with it. That's the human aspect of it. So find your interests. Matt, what do you do when you're not hanging out with me?
What do I do? Well, besides work?
Yeah, besides work.
I do lots and lots of work. Other than that, I enjoy reading and long walks by the fire and hot days on the beach. I don't know.
Long walks by a fire?
Yeah, that's right. It's a combination of long walks by the beach and like nights in front of the fire. You just compress it into long walks by the fire.
What?
Yeah. So I enjoy reading.
Yeah.
As you can tell, like you cannot see this, but literally right off to my right-hand side, there is like 11 books sitting right there.
That's good, man. Intelligence is a good thing. Always bettering yourself. That is something you like to do is doing business. So go do being around business folks. So guys, number 3, content is no longer the finish line. It's the starting line. That is so incredibly true. You can't try. It's like trying to close someone, right? You stop trying to close them, start opening them. Give that content up front, hot and heavy. Get everything that they're going to possibly, if you even think they could possibly want it, get it to them. Let them sift through it. I had one of my clients today say some very, very kind things to me. She's like, "Look, Greg, you're very calm. You're very collected. You don't get your feathers ruffled." I'm like, "Boy, you just obviously don't watch my podcast." But it was a good thing because I've already set the stage with her. I brought her all the content. She knows what's going to be happening next, and that's what she really enjoys about it.
Yeah,
Matt, your take?
Yeah, it's content is no longer the finish line, it's the starting line. That's getting more and more true as more agents and more top agents start to produce more content online. I mean, it's already true if you run a business, it's expected that you have a blog. It's now the norm, it's not the exception, right? Mm-hmm. So there has to, and whether it's a written, like blog, we typically tend to think written, right? Like when you hear the word blog, we assume it's an article. But a blog is really just, if you think about it in terms of content, it's anything that you're saying on a regular basis to the world. So that really could be, in any, written audio or video. So it's getting to the point now where if you are to be viewed as a reputable professional in your field, it's coming to be assumed that you are putting out some sort of content, whether it's written, audio, or video, on a regular basis, right? Now that's not to say that you can't run a 6-figure or even a 7-figure business without it, but it's getting to the point now where if you're starting to try to build one from scratch, unless you're already in the 6 or 7-figure mark and you're just sustaining your business, if you want to build a business in those ranges from scratch, it's assumed that you're pumping out content on a regular basis. It's now like the barrier to entry because people are getting to the point where they don't want to trust you, or they're looking for the content as a way to like engage with you and learn more about you and build trust with you before they're going to reach out to really have any type of conversation with you about working with you. They're assuming they're going to be able to go to your website and read stuff that you've written, or listen to a podcast that you do, or watch videos that you've done, or something. And it's getting to the point where if you're not doing something along those lines, you're missing out and you're going to be viewed as less reputable.
Absolutely. That dovetails directly into our next one, Matt. Number 4, maybe the most important social media measure isn't ROI. Perhaps it's relevance. And that is 100% true. If you're not relevant to that person's life, why do they want to see your ad, hear your story, watch your video, read your blog, anything else, or hear your audio, whatever you're doing? But you have to be relevant to them. So, Matt and I both like reading, like educating ourselves, like continually pushing forward, like trying to always get to that next level, get that next little nugget of goodness, right? So seek that out. Be relevant in your endeavors. Go to homesnap.com. Go to Neighborhood Scout. Go get DS News, M Report, Housing Wire, Riz Media. Go get house.com. All these different resources for different types of information for the real estate business and everything around it, so that when you're writing, recording, meeting, whatever with these people, you're relevant. Because you're like, oh, Matt, actually, did you know? But that's relevance, because relevance is something that's going to benefit the other person's life. That's what the definition.
It's what they want to hear about, not just what you want to talk about.
Yeah. So don't talk about yourself. They don't care.
Yeah, and let's talk about the first part of that, which is that it's not maybe the most important measure isn't ROI. That's a really it's a double-edged sword, right? You don't want to waste all your time on social media because it doesn't always translate directly into sales. So I would never recommend to a new agent they spend more time on social media than they do talking to people on the phone about real estate, right? Mm-hmm. However, there is a trap there where some people go to the other side, and they're very, very influenced by the direct marketing crowd. And as much as I love Dan Kennedy, he would really not advise you to spend much of any time on social media because it doesn't directly have trackable results. The problem with that is that he also turns around and advises you to build celebrity status. Now and celebrity or expert status, that to me is where social media and all forms of what we do, like podcasting, video hangouts, anything like that, to me falls under that aspect. It is not directly trackable by ROI, but it definitely will have a very massive, potentially massive impact on your business. If you can build expert status, however you do that, whether it's blogging, audio, video, radio show, podcasting, whatever, it will have a tangible impact on your business, but you may not be able to tie it back to a specific ROI. I put X number of hours into this every week, and it yields me this much more business, because it gets so intertwined with all of your other marketing that you're doing that it's hard to know what's having the most effect. So you really have to decide, I'm going to put value into the world, and I understand instinctively and intuitively that it will come back to me greater than what I give out, even though I may not be able to track it directly in terms of number of views or exact transactions that came from a podcast or whatever the case is. So like when I look for someone to do like podcasts, if I want to serve them as a client and help produce their podcast, I'm not looking for someone that wants to track ROI or is obsessed with their audience numbers. I need someone, and I'm looking for someone that intrinsically wants to put their message out into the world and is committed to doing that in and of itself, even if they don't see immediate results, because it's very difficult to track that stuff.
Oh, it's nearly impossible, especially if you're an agent and you've been doing this for quite a while. You're going to have multiple different peers of lead gen out there. Yep. And unless you are asking every single person, how'd you hear about us? How'd you hear about us? How'd you hear about us? You know what? You can do that. I would advise that. I mean, it's just a great way to kind of understand, and they'd be happy to tell you. But if you sometimes are remiss and you don't do it, that's fine. No big deal. But it's about branding. Why is it? Think about this. Why is it that every time you go into a restaurant and you're a soda drinker, do you ask them, hi, do you have a cola? Or, why don't you ever ask for a Pepsi? Because Coca-Cola dominated the branding on that of being known as a soda.
Yeah. You're talking about like in the South and in like Central and South America when they'll actually ask you in a restaurant, hey, what kind of Coke do you want? And they mean literally any type of soda pop, because Coke to them is synonymous with soda. Exactly right. Yeah.
So I've always said that I want to be the Coca-Cola of real estate. When you think real estate, McDaniel Callahan team, end of story. Matt and I want to be the Coca-Cola of, doing podcasting and educating, agents at the highest level at no cost. We want to be able to game change this whole industry, be known for it. Because, I just talked to another agent today that got a deal because of listening to our show. That's happening more and more. And you know how great that is? That's what awesome. Matt and I want to do.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, so number 5 is, where do you start? Content fuels the social web. Concentrate on establishing one superb, rich content stream. Example, a blog, a video series, or a podcast. Greg, what do you say about that one?
100%. You don't want to be a mile wide and an inch deep. You want to be an inch wide and a mile deep, because like Matt and I, we put 3 days of content into this podcast every single week. That is a ton of content that's being put out there. So what is that pushing us to do? It's pushing us to get better at our trade craft, aka going out and doing research, finding topics, talking to agents, networking and seeing what people are wanting to hear. But then it comes back and benefits my life. It benefits Matt's life because he can advise other real estate agents on it. But start wherever you are. Start where you're comfortable. Okay. Let's say you're just getting going and you have a webcam and a microphone and you like talking, and just go for it. Start talking. If you like to write. Just start. If you get analysis by paralysis, stop it. Just write down the ways you like to do it and just begin. End of story. Now, turn off this podcast. No, don't turn off this podcast. Listen to the rest of this podcast and then start.
Right, exactly. Start in a half hour.
I'm encouraging them to be
start in 23 minutes. Okay.
I'm encouraging them to be proactive, but yet at the exact same time, a little bit on the procrastination side.
Exactly. Procrastinate for another 22 and a half minutes and then go start.
Absolutely.
Okay. So number 5 on the list is that was where do you start? So number 6 is a perfect transition. So wait before diversifying. Mm-hmm. It's tempting to chase every shiny new object like infographics, streaming video, SlideShare, whatever's happening that week. Resist the temptation. Build one strong audience base on one platform before diversifying, and don't dilute the quality of your content because you're stretched too thin. Mm-hmm. And believe me, it's hard for me and Greg too. It's extremely difficult when you see all the, because of the world that we run in, especially me, like paying attention to, marketing newsletters and marketing activities, and other guys that run in the same circles of marketing consulting. All you hear about is, how I built 10,000 followers on Instagram, how I attracted 32,000 likes to my Facebook page, and there's one for every platform. Mm-hmm. There is a massive success story for every platform, and the good news is that everything works for someone. That doesn't mean that you have to try to go out and copy what they've done and implement it across all these different platforms just for your business alone. Yeah. I would be very, very surprised, and you can probably, if you actually got a chance to interview some of those people, you'd realize that they themselves are not successful across every platform. I mean, if you listen to podcasts like what's Michael Stelzner says, it's social media marketer. Yeah.
Just listening to him today.
Yeah, so I mean, they are fantastic, and they do nothing but put on Social Media Marketing World, and they interview other people that are successful in social media marketing. They'll be the first ones to tell you, hey, we don't have much of an Instagram strategy, and they run a social media blog. So not everyone has to be on every platform. Like Chris talked about last week when he was on the show, Chris Angel, figure out what your platform is, because you can always take the content that you put on one, and you can not just repost it, you have to repackage it a little bit. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this in his latest book. It was the name escapes me. Jab, 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 right hook. That's one of the best books on social media ever. So he talks about how you don't want to just repost the same content to different platforms, and that's true. What you want to do is you want to get really deep on one platform, and then you repackage, and you take the content, you spin it in different ways, and you tweak it so it's adapted to other social networks if you repost the stuff at all. But really, if you're a solo agent, don't even worry about being on all the networks. Find what works for you, build your audience there, and just let the other stuff go and relax. You don't have to chase every shiny object.
No, and if you're a younger agent, or if you like Snapchat, Snapchat is actually really becoming a powerhouse when it comes to marketing. The way that the mind works, they like to have stories told. So you do those 15-second little video snaps, and you tell a sequential story. That's a way a lot of young people and a lot of companies are starting to tell a story to the the younger generation, getting them hooked, and then keep pulling them through the filter in the funnel, so that they're ultimately going, oh, that's a great story. Oh, I like that. Oh, this is a good product, or whatever else. So find your own product. But Matt, number 7, social media marketing is about marketing, not social media. So what say you on that?
Well, it's interesting, because I'll be presenting on this in a few weeks, and I was going to break down the difference between social and media in social media, and they picked out marketing out of that. Yeah, well, so the point of that, they go on to say, if you don't know the fundamentals of marketing and how a business works, you're just checking a box on your social media presence, and you're probably wasting a lot of time and money. That is absolutely 100% true. If you don't understand the fundamentals of who is my ideal client, who am I trying to reach, where the hell are they on social media, and what kind of message are they going to respond to, you're dead in the water before you've even started. So unless you stumble upon it by complete accident and you happen to already be on the right social network because your friends are there already and you're already there and active and engaged, you probably will waste a lot of time. The more you understand about marketing, it really comes down to understanding human nature and understanding how people behave and why they do things, including working with you. And the more you understand that, the better. The way that I would break it down in terms of like social media is that you've got social and you've got media, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can either do you can do both. Some people can do one or the other, right? You can either do social, which is free, but it takes a lot of time and it takes time to build up, right? Then you've got the media side of social media, which is the paid advertising. That you can get quicker results, but it doesn't come free.
Nothing in life that's valuable comes free. So.
Right, but so either you go social and you spend a lot of time interacting with people. It takes longer to build up, but it's free technically in dollar terms. Or you spend money to shortcut that and you try to get more immediate results, but it's literally going to cost you hard dollars. So those are the two sides of social media, is the social and the media part. Either way, you're going to have to invest something in order to get a result. Either it's a lot of time or it's a lot of money, and possibly both.
And you know what? If you're just starting out, guys, use your time. Don't use your money. If you understand this stuff, leverage your strengths. Don't try to, perfect your weaknesses when it comes to this stuff either.
Yeah. Some people are better at one side or the other. So some people are really, really good at the media side of social media in the sense that they can run ads and get results, and they can do it for fairly cheap. Frank at Viral Marketing is a great example of that. So he is a master at running very helpful, very educational paid advertising on Facebook and YouTube. He's the least social person on social media you'll ever meet. He's less social than I am on social media, if that's humanly possible.
That's in the negative category.
It is. It's funny. When he posts something, I'm like, holy cow, Frank spoke.
He actually, when I saw him on Facebook, he made a comment to you. It was 3 letters. It was like, yay.
That's right.
I was just like, that's all you got, Frank, huh? That's all you got.
That's all he's got. Yep.
Okay. That's
all right, so
felt Frank.
Yeah, and then you've got the opposite, which is people that are really good at the social side. They're extremely good at engaging, and they can build hundreds of thousands of followers on a platform because they're on it several hours a day interacting with people. And if that's you, awesome.
Grant Cardone is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, like he wants to be everywhere, and more power to him. I can't be that way, but if you are naturally that way and you love the hustle, I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk's another example. That guy wanted to, and makes an effort to respond to every single comment, every single like, every retweet, every email, everything. He wants to be everywhere.
At his level, that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
So, jeez.
That's right. All right, so number 8. Well, we might have to start skipping around. So we have to earn the right to be read every single day.
Absolutely you do. You have got to engage people. You cannot be wet cardboard. Hello, this is Greg McDaniel from the McDaniel Callahan Real Estate Team. Today, here's the real estate market update alert.
It goes back to being human.
Oh,
and
Christ.
God help you if that is you.
Oh, get out of real estate. No, but I mean, in all honesty, guys, you gotta be a little bit bigger than life. You gotta have people that want to listen to you. You're like, okay, this human being is bringing value to my life because one, they are incredibly intelligent and they're blowing you away with how deep they can go in subject matter. 2, if they can bring humor into it and they can bring you good content. And if you can combine both of those, some humor with some deep content, so they can walk away having a good time, but yet getting the education that they're desperately wanting on whatever subject matter that is, that's all it takes, guys. But that goes back to not being a jack of all trades and a master of none. Don't be a mile wide and an inch deep. Be inch wide, mile deep. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
And that will get you to being listened to or read every day.
Yep. And what should you write about? I know a lot of people struggle with that. That's number 9. Make notes about everything that strikes your interest, a quote in a book, a news item, blah, blah, blah. That way when you have to sit down, you have a whole list of options to choose from. I mean, that's common sense. If you put yourself in a position where you have to put something out into the world, there has to be some input. You have to be putting something into yourself. And so find, depending on what you want to talk about, like if you follow Chris Angel's advice from the last episode and you figure out kind of what your niche is and what you want to talk to people on, What's your tribe? Let's say it's wine lovers. You're going to need to, just on a practical level, keep up with some wine blogs, read the magazines, grab some books from the library about winemaking, pick out something that you can talk about every day. It's if it's something that you're passionate about, it's not hard to do because you're probably reading stuff anyway. You're probably already following these people on social media, and you can repost and retweet, and share kind of what you're coming across in your natural personal life. The difficulty comes when you're trying to post about stuff, for example, like real estate, just general real estate. If it's not something you're super passionate about, you're probably not coming across stuff that you would repost, and then you have to start searching for it and forcing yourself to take in more information than you would normally. That's when it gets, boring and cumbersome.
Well, kind of. I mean, but there's a lot of different information aggregator sites that you can go and get information off of. So you can go to, there's a site called BuzzSumo that will aggregate information. You can type in and get, trending, what's new, most reposted, whatever else. That is a paid service. I think it's really, really good.
You can also set up Google alerts that'll just email you when stuff is posted on a certain search keyword term.
But you can also go to like house.com if you're more into the DIY side of the real estate. You can go to Realty Times if you want more buyer, seller, homeowner, HOA, and there's another one in there. Articles that are written on a daily basis that you can then, they're about a page long, regurgitate them out, read them, regurgitate them back out, put your own spin on them, make a video. I mean, what I do is, since I'm always reading and researching something at somewhere, I'm always have an idea. I'm like, ooh, I could do a video about that. Ooh, I can do a video about that. Because I think that there's a lot of information out there, like HomeSnap, Neighborhood Scout. These are all different sites where you can go get information and then put it back out, either to agents like Matt and I do, or to the homeowners like Neighborhood Scout. You could do multiple videos about a certain area with different little bits of information. So don't worry, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, guys. That's okay. Yeah. Matt, it is 48 after, and we haven't even scratched the surface on this list.
We haven't. Let's see if we can get halfway through, and maybe we'll pick this up on the next episode or on a future one. So number 10 is find somebody to do the technical stuff. Fiddling around with WordPress plugins and audio editing doesn't produce revenue. Outsource everything that isn't directly connected to producing content, serving a customer, or the activities that are directly responsible for producing revenue.
Upwork.
Agree or disagree?
I completely agree. That's why you and I have a very, very good working partnership. You're more A to B, B to C. That's okay for you. You get the technical side. I'm just like, man, I don't fucking know, dude. Show up and I'll do shit. But I mean, I always jest about that a little bit. But if you guys want to go find someone that can do that side for you, if you don't have a Matt Johnson that you partnered with, go to Upwork.com. And it's Elance and Odesk. They merged, and now it's called Upwork.com. And you can go in there, and you guys can hire someone for cents on a dollar. There's also a bunch of crowdsourcing opportunities. Take it out to the crowd, and offer a nominal fee. You'll literally be paying cents on the dollar for accessing the crowd and having people all over the world compete to do work for you. You don't have to. It's not like you have to go
99 Designs is probably the best example of that.
99 Designs, absolutely. It's where we got our logo done. I mean, go check out this simple Google searches, guys. Where's the best place to get audio editing done? Boom, it'll give you a bunch of sites.
Yeah,
for $5 or $10 what you get. But yeah, Upwork, Fiverr, any of those guys right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's somebody has already probably, whatever question you have, somebody's probably figured out the answer to it already, and somebody out there in a foreign country is more than willing to do the technical side, and it's probably worth it to pay them to do it. So that as long as you replace the time that you would spend doing that with time that you actually spend actively building your business. That is the caveat to that.
Does not mean you get a hall pass, dipshits.
That's right.
You cannot be like, hey, he's doing that, I'm gonna go sit and do nothing. No. You got to double down and go do some more prospecting. Do something more to better yourself.
That's right. All right. So number 11, I like this one. It's quit worrying about the next Facebook. It's Facebook.
And that's so true. That damn thing is going to take over the flipping earth at one of these days.
Yeah.
Between Google and Facebook, one of those titans are going to take over the web and run it. But yeah, it is just Facebook, guys. But you know what? What did you do before Facebook? You still made money. It's still about making that human connection. It's still going out and doing something good in your community, door knocking, cold calling, following up, networking, going to the gym class, going to that, gardening group, whatever. Because you know what? None of that involves Facebook. and it's still an opportunity where you can go meet a prospective new client or reestablish a relationship with a past client that you'd maybe lost.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the social media, the social part of it, Facebook and any other outlet that you can use, as long as you're using it to build and strengthen relationships with real people, and you actually have their phone number, you know where they live, you have their email, and you use stuff like Facebook as a way to touch them more often and in a lighter way, maybe touch them with other valuable content or talking about other things besides the real estate to kind of keep in touch with them in between transactions. The real asset isn't Facebook, it's not the social media platform. The real relationship is the asset is the relationship you hold with the real person in real life. Mm-hmm. Will they pick up the phone when you call? Will they answer your email? So as long as you look at it in those terms, then you can see the social media as a way to contact somebody that's not as intense, not as personal as a phone call. It's not as it's not as personal as popping by their house or showing up at a party that they threw or meeting them for coffee or whatever the case is. But it's a way to keep in contact with them in between those things. Then it's good. If all you do is try to build your platform so that you have a bunch of friends and likes and engagement on social media, but they won't pick up the phone when you call, then you really don't have much of an asset. And
you have nothing.
One algorithm change on Facebook and your goose is cooked.
Absolutely, 100% correct. I'm going to back up real quick. We were talking about a little while ago, and I forgot to do it. We're talking about content and where to start doing everything when you're going to be writing. Guys, I forgot to mention this, my deepest apologies, but LinkedIn, on a free account with LinkedIn, you can join up to 50 groups out there. And my father, Terry, the original Grandmaster, is religiously and relentlessly forwarding me links from LinkedIn, from Twitter, and like I said, it's a information aggregator. They'll just drop right in. People are already doing all the other work if the other sites don't work for you, or if you're using LinkedIn right now heavily. So I just wanted to backtrack on that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, LinkedIn bought a content aggregator called Pulse, and so if you, like I did, I used to have Pulse was essentially my blog reader before LinkedIn bought it, so that is now incorporated into the LinkedIn product, and so that is a way for you to keep track of certain blogs. If you post about a certain thing, whether it's technology or marketing, whatever you're into, you can use LinkedIn Pulse to still keep track of your favorite blogs, and then I believe you can share it right within LinkedIn to your profile. And LinkedIn is still one of those where they don't have so many people posting stuff that they've had to do what Facebook did, where they don't let everybody see your posts. Right now, as far as I know, if you post something to LinkedIn, the people that you're connected with, it will show up in their feed. So that's still a great reason to use LinkedIn.
If you guys are not friends with me on LinkedIn, please become join me on LinkedIn. I am posting a lot of stuff additional to the podcast on there, and then posting out some of our kind of here and there other videos. So a lot of good content. I cannot talk.
Yeah, connect with Greg on LinkedIn. That's the
there it is.
All
but right. You know what? This number 12, Matt, actually happens to be one of my favorites.
Really? I was going to skip that one.
Actually, no. Of course you would. Jerk. So number 12, guys, is be kind. Lift people up. I've told the story before. I'll tell you it again. I was doing little videos, and they were working so well, I quit doing them naturally. So I'm starting up again. But I was doing like little inspirational videos, it was something that people needed to hear, because I got it didn't happen right away, but all of a sudden people started paying attention. They would hit me up on Facebook, hey, great video. They'd start liking it. People I hadn't talked to in a while. But there's so much negativity in the world that we're kind of accustomed, and we're just immune to it. It's like, oh, another bad day. Oh, a car accident. Oh, another death. Oh, a tsunami. And we're like in another mass school shooting or something like that. And if you're able to be a different voice and be positive, kind, uplifting, genuinely a nice person to another human being, that will go epically further than you can ever imagine. You never know who's on that brink of maybe committing suicide or making a bad decision in their life. But if you're able to give them a hug, a high five, a smile, a positive word of encouragement, you have no idea how powerful that can be to someone's life. I have multiple stories of, someone saying hi to someone, befriending them, taking them to coffee, and that person who they befriended was going to go kill themselves. that
Oh, wow.
when they were on that bus. And my friend Angela saved this woman's life, and they're still friends today.
That's
So
crazy.
keep that in mind, guys. Be kind. Just give some love out. You know, Matt and I mess around on this thing all the time, but he and I are good buddies. We joke all the time together.
Yes,
And so we have a little snide comeback of something. It's because the two of us have already talked about it or something. We're like, ha, 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 ha. I like that. It's good. They are gonna kick your ass next time.
Yeah. We have a special sense of humor, but it's all done in love. But yeah, I like that. I was going to skip that one, Greg. So I think it's funny that you pointed it out. But
Be kind, Matt.
I mean, you can take like it says here. They go on to say under that bullet point that a bully will draw attention if they start a fight, but nobody trusts one. That's probably true. I mean, you do have to. You have to watch the content that you put on your social media platforms if you're in real estate, because there is a way to talk about sensitive issues, even politics and religion, on social media, but most people are bad at it. And so the best advice is to simply not do it and stay away from those topics and stick to things that are positive. You can disagree with people and still be professional, attack the issues, not the people. It's a great point. However, sometimes even just posting on something and commenting on something is enough for people to take a stand against you. And when you're in business, there's no reason to use your Facebook page, for example, as a platform for political views. It's just not worth it. And I am. I have to watch it. Even myself, occasionally I'm tempted to comment on things, and I have to stop myself because it's very easy to be misunderstood. Even if you think you're being very clear and being very impartial and even being nice, sometimes it just doesn't come across. There's no body language, there's no tone, there's no anything for that to pick up. It's literally just your words, and sometimes people receive it in the context that they receive it, and there's nothing you can do about that. So.
That's only 7% of your communication is going to be the actual words. I was going through that with one of my clients today. She and I were texting back and forth. When we talk, body language and tone, she and I can just pimp slap each other right and left because we can hear like the hint of laughter in each other's voices. But when it comes through in text, I honestly, for a minute, I'm like, what the fuck? She's going to get another realtor? What's going on? And I'm like, no, she's not. She's just kidding. Okay, because she came back and said, I'm just messing with you. I'm like, don't do that. Don't. That shit ain't cool. But I mean, so another thing is, I mean, posting inappropriate photos you guys have. So next time you guys at a strip club and you guys are doing lines off of a stripper's butt, probably don't want to be posting that on your social media page if you guys are going to be wanted to be taken seriously as a real estate agent. That's just like unbelievable.
Okay, yeah.
Where do you come up with
if your life looks like the opening scene from The Wolf of Wall Street, don't post to Facebook.
Yeah, do not do that.
Yeah,
the local housewife is not going to like you, and neither will the dad.
And I don't know how that falls under be kind, but yeah, just don't. That falls under the category of don't post stupid things to social media.
Don't be yourself.
Yes, if yourself is that way, don't be yourself.
Yeah, dude,
you heard it from Brian here. Don't be yourself. That's right. It's like I told you one time, Greg. Resist the urge to be a dude.
But it's so strong.
I know, but it's so strong. Fighting it right here. Oh, it just wells up inside. It's so strong.
It feels so good.
That's right. All right. Well, with that, I think we'll have to wrap that up. We managed to make it 12 points into a 25-point post. That's hilarious.
Epically us, dude. It's like, so we want to talk, Matt. Do you think we're gonna have enough content? I don't know, Greg. We'll just see. I think we may have enough content.
Yeah, well, we may have to stretch this into the next episode on Wednesday and finish this up. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. All right, so we'll probably do that.
All right, so that'll be Wednesday's episode, and then we have a very special episode on Friday. Brian Casella, door knocking mastermind. So we're getting 2 master door knockers. These are not journeymen. These are the masters. These are not apprentices. Well, Greg is a junior grandmaster. We'll put
I am.
They're both masters of door knocking. So we're excited to have Brian on the show. That's at Friday at 11 a.m. So we're really, really looking forward to that. But with that, we do have to wrap it up. A quick thank you to Viral Marketing. Check them out at getviral.com, and then Equity for buyer lead generation. A lower number of higher quality buyer leads. So it's built from the ground up for solo agents just like you, and for small teams of agents that are at the same brokerage. So reach out to Greg. How do people take the McDaniel Challenge?
The McDaniel Challenge, for all of you who may not know or have not been listening to our podcast, first, Shame on you. Second off, it's very easy. Don't spit your water out, Matt.
Trying.
So, best number is 925-915-1978, 925-915-1978, like the year. It's my private cell phone. You will get a response from me within minutes if I'm not in a meeting, or even less than that, because I know your time
is boring. It'll be less than that.
Oh God, yeah. Or if the seller is droning on about her grandkids and her carpet and how it matches the paint and flunky monkey, no. So if I get that, yeah, I'll be like, I'm in a listing meeting from hell. What's going on? When can we talk? But we are booked up all the way through March, guys. Let me get the exact date so that you guys can be heads up. Holy shit, dude, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm booked up through the 29th, so exactly a month. I'm completely booked. Yeah, I'm booked all the way up, guys, through the 29th. So 29th, 30th, 31st are the first 3 available dates in March. And I really look forward to talking to you guys. I really have a good time doing it. I love hearing your stories, getting to know you on a personal level, and seeing whatever I can do to bring value to your life. And I really appreciate you guys, taking the time, spending some time with me, and us chopping it up and having some fun. So I look forward to meeting more of you guys. Now book the damn time, or someone else is going to get it.
That's right. All right, remember to reach out to Greg for the McDaniel Challenge, and then subscribe on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher if you prefer the audio version over the video. And remember to check out the Facebook fan page, Real Estate Uncensored. If you have any marketing or sales questions for real estate, that's the best place to get a hold of us in between the show, especially if you have specific questions that you'd like to get our opinions on, or if you have maybe some marketing materials you'd like to get some feedback on. Throw them up there on the group. We're happy to comment and give you our opinions. anything else that you have, any comments or questions, that's the best place for them. That way it gets to both me and Greg. And of course, you can always friend us on Facebook and chat with us during the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And go to Patreon, guys. If you will help support and offset some of the costs that we do run. A fairly decent amount of costs will be run on a monthly basis. So, getting this content out to you in the quantities that we're getting it out, plus the newsletters and social media and everything else that we're doing, guys. So go to Patreon. Was it / or?
Yeah, it's patreon.com/REU podcast.
Yeah, take a look at it, guys. But man, we are getting to go longer and longer on these things.
I know, we got to cut it off. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you on Friday.
See you Wednesday, and we love you.
That's right. All right, guys.
Bye.